Michigan native actor and current host of Game Show Network's popular Switch game show, Jeff Hephner.
Good morning.
Good morning to you both.
I love the name tag.
Thank you. As I was telling you earlier, it's like everybody on the show gets to wear a name tag except me.
Yeah.
And when I get to talk about Switch specifically, I'm always putting my name tag on because I'm like, this is what it's about. It's about the name tag. This was after the first season, this was my gift at the end. They gave me a name tag because I complained so much. I'm like, why don't I get a name tag?
So I wanted to ask you about that show in particular. And we all think we know how game shows work. What's it like for you? Do you just tape one show in a day?
No, oh my goodness, no. We shoot 6 a day.
Oh wow.
It is a grind, but in the best possible way. It's one of those moments where you're like, I didn't know I had this much energy.
Yeah.
You're just constantly find this little well of energy to go back to. But I too had a lot of questions about game shows, and I've learned a lot about game shows. There's a lot of nuts and bolts in there, but they are what you hoped they would be. I love talking about Switch. I love telling people about it. I hope people enjoy watching Switch because it is as fun as you think it might be. I look like a cornball up there all the time, but I absolutely love what I'm doing.
You look like the perfect game show host, the quintessential
I love it. Thank you.
game show host from Central Casting. I mean, you were perfect. In fact, if you've not seen, we have a clip, a promo reel of the show. Let's take a look.
Coming in January, it's Switch, the all-new game show where your place in line can change anytime. Hosted by Jeff Hephner.
Switch is a trivia game show that's entirely different. The energy of it, the thrill of it. The first time somebody wins, I was so excited. I'm getting chills thinking about it now. It's nice to be on something that literally my 13-year-old can watch and my 96-year-old neighbor.
I'm having fun.
Exactly. That's what we're here for, to have fun. My experience on this show has been joy, and I want people to feel that. I want them to participate in that, and I hope that they feel the way that I felt doing it.
Switch premieres this January, only on Game Show Network.
Can you get Bart on the show?
Actually, I was going to ask if you can get me a game show host job at GSN.
You know what I was going to suggest is why don't we just start one here?
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Let's have one. I'll host it.
We've always wanted to host a game show, and you've always wanted to host a game show.
Well, if Jeff's willing to host it,
I think we'll do it.
that'd be
Yeah, obviously.
You know what, though? Like I said in the thing, that little promo, and thank you for sharing that, because there is a joy involved with it, and that's the part I love the best. I play a lot of scumbags on TV.
Yeah.
I do shows where I'm the bad guy, where things aren't going. And this, I get to be the good guy. This, I get to be, the one giving away a bunch of money that's not mine.
Yeah.
I get laughs, and there's just that excitement to it. And you're interacting with people that's what they wanted to be on a game show. Who doesn't want to be a guest or a contestant on a game show?
How important are the guests to the show?
Oh my gosh, they're it, right? And it's literally one of the tricks to the job is being open to them, right? Like get them. I tell a lot of them when we go through before the cameras start rolling. I said, listen, I want you to be able to tell your grandkids, your family, that this was one of your best days. I want you to mark this in the book and said that was so much fun, and you're going to tell everybody forever you were on a game show and you won 10 grand, or you fell down walking up to the stage, like just something goofy, but something joyful and I hope we get that a lot, and I think we do, because you see it in their answers, because you do get to guess. You've got 3 choices. If you don't know, you're like, nah, I don't know. And if they get it right, they freak out, and you get these great responses from everyone. And I love that, absolutely love it.
At the end, and I don't know, I call it the lightning round, and I think that's generic term for the last.
The end of a game,
yeah.
Sure.
You don't get the answers. You have to come up with the answers completely on your own.
Yes. In the big switch.
To win $10,000.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's really an exciting part of the show. And you start watching the show, you can't stop.
Yeah, you're hooked.
I'm hooked on the show.
You're absolutely
I'm hooked on the
hooked.
show.
I'm so glad. So am I, by the way.
It's a big success, and really, I think the best game shows on the Game Show Network are the new GSN produced shows.
they've done a wonderful job
Yeah,
with the new
because it
stuff.
used to be when it first started, it was just all the old game shows, Family Feud, and they
Yeah.
just
And injecting new life has been something they've done quite successfully, right? They put in new shows, new formats of shows. They take old ideas and reprocess them for today. But it feels good to see new, like Switch specifically. It's a European format. I think it started in Belgium, and it was quite successful over there, and then just kind of tweaked to come over here. And people have responded really, really well to it. I like to describe it as the wildly popular game show.
it is widely
Where do you
popular.
film?
We film. I feel like I live there because when we do it, it's 6 a day. I mean, it's a bit of a grind. It is in LA, so it's in Studio City when we're over there.
And you wear suits, and this we're talking
Not
before the
today.
show. It's very important that the game show host wear a suit. They've gotten away from it. Drew Carey, I don't know what he's thinking, but wear a suit. You are the boss of the show. You need to look like you are in command.
Bart, you're making me feel like I'm underdressed today, though.
No,
I was like,
you're a
what?
guest
It's a
today.
breakfast show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm home for the holidays. I was like, I'm not going to shave. This is the first time I've combed my hair in quite some time.
No, this is exactly
I really
what-
feel like I should put on a suit.
You should
now.
be wearing those, Jeff, because you were named one of the 100 sexiest men on TV several
I'm
years
glad you're keeping track.
because you've had some big roles that you're probably more famous for than Switch, like Chicago Fire and Chicago
Yeah.
Med.
Yeah,
People like those shows.
they love
People
those
tend to
shows.
watch those.
Love the shows.
Yeah.
You're on.
Oh,
You've
there's
got
a Hallmark.
a Hallmark
Yeah.
movie.
It's Hallmark movie season for me, so I'm ready, and it's feel good stuff time.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. This one, Love Takes Flight. Oh, me and Sharon. That's a fun show there, Agent X.
Okay.
She played the vice president, and I was her secret agent. Like, I was her weapon. It was so fun because it was that show where I get to beat up everybody. I win every fight. I'm the coolest guy. And none of it was me, right? It's the stunt double who's actually jumping off the trains and doing all the cool stuff.
The
Wonderful.
Hallmark movies, hugely, as you said, Andy, this time of year for
Oh, yeah.
Hallmark.
Yeah, this one, Love Takes Flight, was a wonderful experience. One of the first jobs I ever had was an old Hallmark Hall of Fame called The Water Is Wide, where I played the teacher, John Conrack. They called him Conrack back in the day. And it was one of my first experiences with being the lead of a movie. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I look back and I have hair. There's a little bit of hair there. There's definitely some hair going on somewhere. It was like down to here.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
How do you go? You grew up in Sand Creek.
I sure did.
Not a lot of acting studios and classes down in
No,
Sand Creek.
zero.
How'd you go from Sand Creek? I know you played college basketball at Calvin and then Ferris.
Yep.
How do you go from high school college athlete to actor?
Somebody had the unmitigated gall to say to me once that you become what you think about the most. And this is the thing that always rolled around in my head. I mean, I'm from Sand Creek. It's a small spot, and your dreams can get squashed pretty easily there. But you can fight for them. You guys have clearly done that here. You've created a TV station where there wasn't one, right? It's proof of concept. And the same idea for me, it's like, you know what, I wanted to be on TV. I want to be part of the stories. I didn't necessarily want to be famous. I wanted to make a dollar, but I just wanted to be part of these stories that consumed my life. Like, I really, look at that suit there. Hey, that's on Mars, guys.
Do your kids make fun of you every once in a while?
All the time. And as they should.
Yeah.
I play pretend, right? But to get back to it, I just wanted to interject myself into the stories, and when I had thought of that, I was young enough to believe it, right? That you become what you think about. And that's what I did. And I just kept knocking on doors until they opened, kept showing up until they told me to leave, and then you just kind of find your way.
And you live in Chelsea.
I do.
So
Yeah, I was.
you aren't
was-
the only famous Jeff in Chelsea.
What are you talking about? There's another one?
No. You are the only famous Jeff.
Well, the other one happens to be a very nice guy.
How did you settle on coming back to Michigan? Because that's pretty cool. You probably could have lived wherever you wanted.
Yeah, we could have. And the business was evolving in a way that you didn't necessarily have to be in LA or New York to find the work. Right? It's definitely a huge part of our job still. We still have an apartment in New York. I spend a lot of time there. I shoot there quite a bit. But we're working on Chicago Fire, and I was coming back and forth. And I'm from here. I was always looking for a way to get back. And my wife is from New York City. She started falling in love with the Midwest. and we just kind of trickled our way up here. And I'm pretty close to the airport. You know, I need to get to the airport as often as possible. And Chelsea gave us that small town, right? Chelsea gave us that comfort. And my wife had grown up in New York City, didn't ever know what that was like.
Right.
And so we'd found this little balance of small town with able to get to, like I said, the airport. And we fell in love with it. And it felt like the right place to raise the kids, you know, that being the most important thing at the time. Raising kids in New York City was going to be something I didn't know how to do. And so it's turned out great. The business has actually kind of folded towards us because a lot of my meetings happen on Zoom, or if I have to audition, I just make a tape and email it to them. I don't think people audition in the room anymore, you know, especially since the pandemic.
Yeah,
So,
amazing.
Yeah, and the latest I understand is you're going to be doing a Netflix series with Benedict Cumberbatch.
the one and only.
time.
Man, that guy's the real thing. You know, when you get around, I've worked with a lot of wonderful actors, but there's a few you can point to and go, oh, that's just different.
Right.
What they do is different, and he's definitely one of those. Yeah, it's a Netflix series, limited series, so it'll just be a one-season run called Eric. It'll be sometime this spring. I don't think they've put their finger on the exact date yet. We shot it in Hungary last spring, so 4 months over there, which was fantastic. It's my second series I've shot in Budapest, which you never wake up going, oh, let's go to Budapest.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely place. It's one of my family's happy places.
That's amazing how the career can take you all around the world. It's just,
It has.
and you never know where you're going to be.
No, and I'm super grateful for it. You know, we've gotten to see a lot of places. My kids are all born in different cities. I had one born in LA, one in New York, one in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so, you know, you just kind of, again, it goes with the theme of you knock on doors until they open. You leave until they say go home. And you just kind of follow where it takes you.
I love the Switch hosting. That's my favorite thing that you do, and you do it better. You do it like a seasoned game show host, like the legends in the business, like Bob Barker and Tom Kennedy and Bill Cullen. You make the contestants the stars of the show. You don't hold cards to read the questions. It's just, I mean, it's perfect.
Man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate hearing that. I had never done a game show. I threw myself into it with an open heart, and I just wanted to get it right. But you nod to the Bob Barkers of the world, right? And they did that. I remember when I was talking with the Game Show Network about becoming the host, the conversation led to me talking about my grandmother. And summers, right? You got no school, and you come in from outside at lunch. Price is Right was on. Have a bologna sandwich, really, white bread, mayonnaise, bologna, and I would watch The Price is Right with my grandmother, and it is a cherished memory from my childhood. And that wasn't because it was, you know, just a show that was on TV. We were brought in and made to feel like we were part of it, and it was consistent. People were there to be happy, and I hope I can emulate that in any way, shape, or form, even in the slightest.
Well, we'll suggest if you have not yet seen it, check out Game Show Network's Switch. It's on every night, and you can also watch it on demand on the GSN website, and watch for Jeff all over TV, all over the movies. I hope you come back and see us again.
I sure will. This is fantastic.
Thanks,
I love what
Jeff.
you guys are doing here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The host of GSN's Switch and actor on many of your favorite TV shows, Jeff Hephner. We've got some holiday music coming up next. Stay tuned.